Right, welcome back. Last time we went to war against the Mamluks. Grabbed a bunch of territory for myself, as well as some territory for my ally, who is actually quite willing to become my vassal. So, I'm working towards that. Although, I'm not going to do that immediately, because annexing a vassal incurs an opinion penalty for all vassals, as well as, I believe, increased liberty desire. So I'm going to wait until I'm done integrating Madagascar before taking on Marahan as a part of my own polity, or well, a subset of my polity. I believe I also made a major reform, specifically organizing, well, raising the level of military service up to rank 2, which is volunteers. So now people that actually want to become part of my military, well, yeah, they are. Everyone that's in my military is basically wanting to be a part of my military. Outside of a few levies, but that's a side thing, I guess. I really want to do reforms, the problem is. Yeah, everything I do is going to be expensive. That's something I'm going to have to deal with. Just keep increasing my state reach, that will help everything. I just need to figure out ways to avoid dealing with, well, to reduce provincial corruption, because if I were to look at it, well, you can already see corruption's at 75% on average in all of my provinces. If I go to assess bureaucracy and stability and check national income, I'm no longer losing anything to tax farm. I've reformed beyond the tax farm. However, I am losing about, well, more than 80% of my potential income to corruption. It's bad. I know I can't possibly get rid of all of it, but even if I just get rid of half of it, especially in my capital, because it's especially bad there with 92.5%. Okay, that plus 2.5% is from me expanding the bureaucracy. But here it's actually getting worse. Jeez. Thankfully, once I get to a certain point, I no longer need to do the expand the bureaucracy interaction. Although that will probably occur once I get to... I'll probably keep it going up until it gets to... Although that should actually be soon. Well, around the time when it hits 100% in my oldest provinces. So the ones I basically started with. Like in my oldest provinces is about 96%. Specifically 96.4% state reach. So that happens, it will slowly start to get better. Reasonable tenure duration would be good. But the problem is I need to save my points. I've got less than 4 years left and I don't actually have the admin points. Plus, I need to actually deal with other stuff. It is starting to get annoying. Okay, I don't have the executive authority for everything. Reforming sovereign law, won't actually help. This would really help. Rational divisions. Because it would actually make it so that, well, it would reduce administration costs and increase yearly state reach. And administration costs are actually my biggest expense at the moment, because I'm almost spending as much in there as I am in getting in taxes. I'm getting 102 a year in taxes and spending a 95 per year in bureaucratic wages, which is general administrative costs. That's how they're represented. So if I reduce it by a good amount, I can save quite a bit of money. 25% of that would be around 924, so about 2 ducats per month. Of course, that's assuming from base. Unlikely that it's actually lower than 100% administrative costs. Because that's all based upon a wide variety of things, although mainly these. So, no effect. Okay, so wages are at minus 25%. Administrative cost is minus 5%. Oh, okay, so it's just minus 20%. Oh. Yeah, so minus 25%, although, depends on that's... Not sure how the wages are. I guess it could be multiplicative to administrative costs. That would make things a little more difficult to figure out. Oh well. At least 25. No, 24 ducats a year. Should the numbers stay the same, which is very unlikely. I wasn't expecting to be that quick. Okay. There is decent. Okay. Right, so executive authority is 61%. Alright, that's exactly what I needed. Okay. So 353. I'm not gonna like getting this guy in. Well, he better have a good personality. Okay, so... This does mean I can pull off a major reform that should help. Of course, I need to be careful. The cost of this will decrease by 60. No, 40. 40, 40. But, there's also a side issue. There is the problem of the fact that I'm going to spend about 10 points. About 10. Not exactly. About 10. So this will bring me down to 500. Okay, that's actually fine. Right, this will increase administration costs, but on the plus side, it will heavily lower provincial corruption. Although this is going to make it so that I'm going to get very little tax income for a very, very good bit. Yeah. Oh well. This is gonna hurt. I think I might need a moment for the loyalty to update. Anyway. Continue with current leadership. Perhaps relations didn't change. Right, Pate is good. And let's bring you back in. Alright, 1630, so... Tack, tack, and tack. Rationalism. Oh, so this is all tacked at level 34. Rationalism. Production efficiency plus 1%. Rule production efficiency plus 1%. There we go. Goldsmith banking. Trade efficiency plus 1%, plus 2 settler growth, enables a 2-decker. For some people. Wow, I don't actually have heavy ships. Not until tech level 44. Oh, wow, okay. Regular pay. Cavalry flanking damage modifier plus 5%. Interesting way of putting it. Military tactics plus 0.25. Land morale plus 0.1. Infantry shock plus 0.15. Well, I'll get cannons next. Okay. Alright, let's see. So, the recent reforms modifier is gone, which is why I can start looking at this stuff again. Hybrid military. An emerging state has resulted in a confused mix of standing units and seasonal soldiers, with a noble's retinue often serving beside full-time soldiers and officers. It reduces noble gravity, enables enlistment, which is the next stage of military service. Or I can move from service dues to cash dues. I could theoretically do this, but at the moment, anything involving admin is probably a bad idea. Plus, we're technically unstable, so I should avoid reforms for the time being. However, it should be fine to do some interesting stuff, like yielding concessions to ancient liberty. I mean, now that centralization is going up really fast thanks to high levels of state reach. Yeah, it should be fine just to do that over and over again. Noble concessions. Yep. Especially since centralization is approaching 50%. Well, 50. It's right now at around 49. Point something. It's pretty high. So, let's see. What privileges can I change? Leaving the court titles is probably fine. What I really need to attack is provincial corruption. But none of these change that. Or I could just get better taxes. So, either more manpower from the nobles, which... I don't really need it at the moment. Or... I can get this done. Which will allow me to tax with greater efficiency the nobility. Let's do that. Lose 40 noble loyalty and increases bureaucracy corruption even further. You know what, let's not do that. Corruption's already at 78%. Probably because I'm maxed out around here. Well, corruption actually reduced. However, that doesn't mean anything because for the moment I can't actually do anything. Well, let's see if I can do anything for the clergy. Perform show of devotion. I can promote a faction again. That was fast. Seems like only yes. Oh wait, it was. So it's been 5 years already from that. Right. We're nearing the end of the session. Now we're close to the start, so it seems to be reasonable. And by this point, yeah. Yeah. This province is supposed to tax almost 190 ducats. And yet Little's about 165, so in actuality I get less than 24 ducats a year from my capital. Man, and all that stuff just gets drifted off to the nobility, well, to the elites in general. Sources of corruption. So the nobility provide, so the state and the laws provide a lot. Okay. The state some with the laws a huge amount. Ah. Wages, source multipliers, autonomy. There's a one-time modifier. Wait. Yeah, so autonomy increases corruption. Interesting. And then there's other, which has other side effects. And then there's wages. Okay. So the higher the wages, the better the corruption. Okay, so I should look for ways to reduce corruption via laws. Yeah. Life tenure provides a huge amount. Let's take a look. Term of office. Oh yeah, lowering that can... Let's actually take a look and see what's the worst of them. Higher the recommendation is really bad. No institutional oversight is also pretty bad. Oh yeah, plus 0.2. That raises the resting point by 2, doesn't it? That's state corruption. 0.1 isn't really that bad. So really, directly from laws, it seems to be only 0.5. 0.7. Okay, 0.7. Lack of institutional oversight tends to do that. Raises the administration costs, though. What about term of office? Has no negative side effects from actual increases. Okay. Considering how bad corruption is in a lot of places... At least it's reducing in my capital. But, in order to make sure it gets down faster, I should probably do some sort of reform. Problem is I don't have enough admin points for much. At the very least, I do have something. Something that was important, wasn't it? Oh yeah, it was the irregular examinations. Right, okay. Reasonable tenure duration is too difficult to get. This is less pricey on the admin points, but yeah, minus 25 estate loyalty is not something I can grab right now. This, you know, this would actually work. Reduces elite power from autonomy. And I need this too, don't I? Isn't level 3 of that one of the requirements to start inventing it? Civil examinations reform level greater than 2. Oh wait, no, it's means of recruitment. Yep, okay, so this is actually a really good idea. Oh. Of course, this will bring corruption through the roof. Oh yeah. So I'm not gonna get tax income for a while. However, I've got a large enough treasury to theoretically be able to handle that for a while. I hope I don't go bankrupt in the process, though. I probably should stop around here. Yeah. I don't need you for the moment. I highly doubt Marahan would decay to the point where it's below 180 opinion. The time it will take for Madagascar to be annexed in... literally next year, okay. So then I can start forming a coalition. I find it extremely likely that... Where is it? Revolution map mode. Is the revolution even implemented an MP in this alpha? Is it just turned off just because, or would something happen? I don't know. There's the coalition map mode, which I'm gonna click on you. 157, 19. Oh. 45. So basically 3 people. Okay. Yeah. Of course, if I absolutely have to, I could activate that again. Anyway, I'm back to great power. I'm in 5th place. If you notice this, yeah. Global trade just appeared. Inside the adventure province, so... That's meritocracy. Where is it? Global trade. Yeah. However, I think that has to do with the fact that I just about hit the point of 1.9. Now it's at 2.0, so long as that stays stable, which I sure hope it does, I should be able to get... You know, I would have annexed it straight, but okay. So I should continue to gain it. Oh, no, probably should deselect. There we go. Right, I should continue to obtain the institution. You know, actually, let me just look here. I can look here. Right. So I'm getting 1.2 per month in Zanzibar and Zanzibar Paya, which has much less trade power, but more trade. Well, yeah, about half the trade power is getting 0.9. I'm sure there's more to it. Let's see here. What are the exact stats? Trade value. -5 divided by 5 and then multiply by 1.5. Alright then. Okay, yeah, that would make it somewhat reasonable, the differences. Although I would expect about triple in Zanzibar than Zanzibar Paya. I don't know, it could be a square root faction somewhere that's not being mentioned. There's something like that. Anyway, so let's actually finish this off. So I went ahead and what was it again? Oh yeah, I updated means of recruitment to recommendations for examinations, and I also went ahead and lowered. Well, did I actually do something here? No, that's right. I decided against that and more towards updating the bureaucracy. I'm doing that because provincial corruption has been extremely high lately, mainly thanks to the laws. This has actually to do with state reach. The high state reach means that now stuff like laws that are affecting provincial corruption are becoming the largest influencer to why the bureaucrats are getting so corrupt. This is now plus 57% to the resting point. It used to be higher by a good bit. I think like 80%? I need to update my laws in order to actually tackle corruption. Thankfully, the corruption in important provinces like this one have reduced. Now it's at 90% again. It used to be a bit higher. But now that's at 90%. I'm doing better. Although the fact is, because of my lack of taxation and how expensive the administration is, yeah, I'm only staying afloat because of war reparations, which are ending soon, more or less. Expires in, well, 3.5 years. Yeah. And this is relying on the Mamluks getting a lot of cash. Should their income prove unstable as unstable as my own, yeah, it's going to get bad. But really, most of the realm expenses are wages. I can actually go and look now. So if I look at income, I would, assuming no provincial corruption, I would be getting 556 ducats per month. However, I'm losing 480 to corruption. This gets distributed among the provincial elites, which is just great. I definitely need to make them more powerful than they already are. So this is realm expenses. Property isn't expensive to maintain because those expenses are mainly just paying for industries and whatnot. Paying for property that isn't producing a profit. Besides, normally that slowly starts to get shifted in some sort of pseudo-privatization. Right. There's also infrastructure costs. Pretty important. And wages, which, yeah. Main way to avoid issues involving corruption, but at the moment, I really need to work on it. It acts as a multiplier effect, the wages. So right now, okay, there we go. So wages, so my multiplier for corruption is actually plus 10%, so 1.1 times. Approximately. It's not exact. And this is because of wages not being wages not being the maximum value. Should it become maximum value, it's a non-issue. Well, it goes down to 1. So I'm getting 10% more corruption than I'm supposed to. More or less. Right. Madagascar, the Isle of the Moon is about to come under my administration. It's going to take some time. Yeah, like I said previously, about a year. Beyond that, there's a lot of unrest going on in here. So it's going to be very, very likely that there's a revolt soon. Down in Byro, there's also becoming problems again because of how long I've been ignoring the issue of separatism in this province. However, as long as nothing goes, low Wycliffite unrest. Wycliffite? Oh, it must be the Lutherans. Yeah, the Lutherans are getting some unrest, apparently. The religious system is barely finished, so, well, barely present, so it can be quite difficult to tell when exactly something's going wrong there. Anyway, that should be good for now. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye. Oh, there's one other thing. The tributary relation just got off. That's why I'm a great power. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen next, though. So, yeah, until then.